right, you guys. So, what is new with the Royals now that I have appropriately stuffed myself to distraction and I can barely button my jeans? Um, so the Royals and other celebs. So with Harry and Meghan, I just did another video where I discussed this Hollywood Reporter hit piece. It appears that some people are saying that Kate and William and the royal family were behind this hit piece in Royal Reporter. And furthermore, it's even worse that the Hollywood Reporter will now be having exclusive access to Kate. I'm just stopping in this beautiful church for a minute, if you don't mind. I'm taking my walk. I like to stop in and look at stuff. So, yeah, just sharing that with you while I talk. Multitasking, right? So apparently the Hollywood Reporter is supposed to be having exclusive access to Kate right after we learned from the Hollywood Reporter that Meghan is like the biggest bully of the stratosphere. This bully in high heels, all this hit piece that was just so random, coming right after a very successful trip to Colombia and other successes, and suddenly we're just hit with this very random thing about Meghan and bullying, and everybody scratching their heads. And it appears, according to some people online, that Kate and William's team were behind this weirdly timed hit in the Hollywood Reporter. So I did a whole thing about that where I said, look, I mean, they're doing it to harass Harry and Meghan. They need to stop. They need to go back to their country and, take care of their subjects' needs and, create charities and organizations to help people and, from cancer sufferers to just everybody, because there's so many people in the UK suffering. Don't go over to America to harass Meghan because she's not really paying any attention to you. But then I thought about it a little bit more and I thought to myself, wait a second, maybe it's more than just harassing Meghan. Maybe there really is a broader strategy here that involves not just Kate and William, but the entire royal family. If you think about the fact that Fergie and her daughter Eugenie, I believe, are both in New York around the same time as Harry, and William was supposed to be there at the same time as well. And she started some organization slash charity to benefit young people, as if, with all due respect, any more charities need to be formed. But she forms it in New York and not in London, which is very curious. And Eugenie was there with her in the audience, clapping her along. We know Charles just bought an apartment in New York, so he's trying to establish some kind of presence in New York. William has been courting New York billionaires like Michael Bloomberg, who apparently is the one who's been funding his Earthshot Prize, pumping, I don't know, $1 billion or whatever it is into the charity, because each year William gives away $1 million to a few people who are being useful in terms of the environment. So it's interesting because I always thought that it was the royal family that was funding the Earthshot Prize, and perhaps it is, but it seems that it possibly is not. It's really rich American billionaires like Michael Bloomberg who are funding all of these initiatives. Ditto for Fergie and Eugenie. They're over in America trying to make money and milk American billionaires and other rich Americans of as much money as they can. And if you think about it, with Andrew out of commission and being unable to earn an income or to receive an income from Charles, what is Fergie supposed to do? She's not retired yet, and her daughters don't really have careers, if you think about it. They have husbands, but I mean, the husband's money is only going to stretch so far. It's not going to be able to keep them in the lap of luxury they were born into. So they have to come up with money. And if you think about it, what do charities do? A lot of people, they make these charities and they get paid to be, the trustee or whatever of that charity if they retain positions for themselves. So, follow the money. I mean, it seems to me that, these people are using New York as a money, it's about money. They're there to try to make as much money as they can. Even though William has two duchies that he now is in charge of, now that Charles is king, and Charles resides over billions of dollars. He just got a $60 million per year raised from the British, privy purse, whatever the bleep it's called. And he still doesn't have enough money just to bought an apartment in New York. He has all this real estate. He can't possibly stay in all of them in 1 year. There's just so much. And yet they're continuing to go to America to milk the American economy of every dime they can. And quite frankly, they actually said it in the article in the Daily Mail with so yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking to myself that I think it's coordinated. I think it's coordinated. I think that the royal family, they've had a meeting, and whether it was in person or electronically, and they have communicated among themselves that they need to make money, they need to bring in as much money as they can. They looked across the pond at Harry and Meghan, at all of these contracts that they so quickly amassed from from the book deals to Netflix and all of this stuff, and they want that for themselves. They want to get an agent for Kate, and then once she gets an agent, there's going to be one for William. That's what they're doing. They're putting Kate in a Hollywood Reporter to put her in front of all of these American Hollywood agents for money. They want money. They want deals. They want the same deals, the same types of deals, but just 10 times better that Meghan and Harry were able to get. It is a competition, as I said, but it's much, much deeper and much more coordinated. Now, King Charles, I think, is a part of it too, where they all are trying to make money. He bought an apartment in New York. Fergie's in New York. They're all in New York trying to make money, trying to find people to fund this and fund that. And when they're done, they will just bleed the American economy of all the money that we barely have in America. There's so many poor people in America. These are billionaires. They already have so much money. They're sitting on all this money, billions. It's not enough. This is greed. I think it's greed. It's competition, but it's greed as well, where they're trying to compete with Harry and Meghan. And, Harry and Meghan made these deals look really easy,